Welcome to the tutorial on how to make an API call and cache images in SwiftUI. Caching images is crucial for optimizing performance, reducing data usage, enabling offline support, and providing a better user experience. It improves loading times, conserves bandwidth, ensures offline availability, and maintains consistency. Implementing caching mechanism efficiently manages and retrieves images, resulting in faster loading times, improved responsiveness, and a smoother user interface. This is the application that we will be building. As you see, the images are coming from an API, and the images are saved within the cache. I'll just scroll down. And then it also gets the next set of images from the API. And you can also filter on the actual images. So if you want to display anything that begins with I, it will filter it, just type in I. Or anything that contains the letter I. Or iPhone, displays all the iPhones. So this is what we will be building in the tutorial. So let's now start the tutorial. Within your SwiftUI Xcode project, create a new class and call it API. So to create your new class, you can click on Ctrl+R, Control key, and then left click on the mouse, and then just click on New File. Select Swift File. Click on Next. Enter the name of the class, API. And now create the name of the class within Swift. Just type in class, API, open bracket, and then the API class will have one method only to start with. The name of the method is called fetch products. So just type in function fetch products less than bracket t codable open bracket async throws and t. So this function returns a generic. A generic can be any data type, so it makes the actual function more flexible. And now type in do let URL equals URL string HTTPS dummy JSON.com products. And this is the URL where the actual payload, the actual JSON data will be coming from. And now type in let data, comma, equals try await URL session shared data from URL. Next thing we do is to create a JSON decoder. So just type in let decoder equals JSON decoder. Now type in let response equals try decoder decode t self, and then type in data. So what this line does, it decodes the JSON type into a generic object of type T. Return response catch then throw any errors that happens, throw error. And then what we have to do now, did we miss something out? I think there's an error. Oh, so we missed out the more than sign on line 12, which should be after codable, which should be here, should be there. Just compile it, just to make sure everything is correct. Yeah, that's good, that's correct. So now the next class we will create is called product response. So to do this, you just do what we've done similar, what we've done previously, so just create another class or struct, so that's new file, select Swift file, click on next, and then call the actual file product response, click on create. Now create the actual struct, so struct product codable identifiable, let id int, let title string, let thumbnail string. String is spelled incorrectly, missed out the T, so it'll be capital S and lowercase t. And then for the next structs, just type in struct product response codable let products product. So the product response holds an array of products. I will now show you the actual JSON payload using Postman. If you type in Postman, you can download it via Google for free. So the actual JSON payloads that we will be retrieving includes the actual products array, and the actual products array includes the ID we'll be using and the title of the product and the thumbnail of the image, and this is the actual elements we'll be using. We won't be using the images array or the ratings or the stock or the brand or the category. So that's it for the payload. The next class we will create is the image cache. The image cache class is the class that enables the images to be stored within the cache. So let's create that file now. So right click and select CTLR, control key, and a new file. Select Swift file, click on next. Type the name of the class, which is called image, and then cache. And then within the image cache file, type in class, image cache, for the name of the class. Next type in static, let shared image cache. The purpose of the static shared variable is to make the instance available throughout the actual application. Next type in private, let cache equals NSCache string UI image and did we miss something out? Equal UI. Oh, this should be. Oh, that's right. UI image. Oh, we need to also import SwiftUI. So import SwiftUI. String. And there's another error. NSCache. Oh, we need to be using NSString. Which is a Objective-C data type. Yeah, that's correct now, but just compile it to make sure. Yeah, that's compiled. Let's type in private, init, open bracket. Private init is similar to a constructor that's called as soon as the class instance is called. Cache total cost limit equals 100. So what that does, it sets a total cost limit for the cache space. So it will always ever store a maximum of 100 elements at a time within the cache. If you want to, you can increase it to 1,000. But for best performance, it's best to make it as low as possible, like 100 or maybe 10 or 50. Anything less or equal to 100 is good. Next function we'll create is called get image. Function get image for key string. UI image, and the question mark, it just means the image can be nil, so it might contain an image or it might not contain an image. So this way the application will not crash because we have to like unwrap it safely. So just type in return cache object for key NS string open bracket string key. Oh, there's a mistake. So that should be another I there, UI image. So what this function does, get image, it retrieves an image from the cache using the specified key. The next function we will create is called setImage, as we have to set the image within the cache. Function setImage image UI image for key and string. Cache set object image for key and a string okay. Image loader and then select SwiftUI file and then type in the actual name of the class, which is called image loader. And then delete the lines between 11 and 13 and also delete the lines 14 to 19. Oh yeah, we need to rename the struct to be a class. And then change view to be observable object. Let's type in at publish var image UI image question mark. And the purpose of this variable, the publish image, is to hold the loaded image. And create another variable, private let cache equals image cache dot shared. The purpose of the image loader class is to load an image from a specified URL and handle caching of the loaded image. So the next thing we need to do is create a function. So just type in func load image from URL string. So this function loads an image from a specified URL, and the URL parameter is the actual parameter of the image that needs to be loaded. If let cached image equals to cache.getImage for key URL. Image equals cached image, and then return. So what this line does, it checks to make sure there's an image available in the cache, and if there is, it captures that cache image and assigns it into the image variable so it can be reused. The next thing we need to do is we need to convert the URL string to a URL object. So to do that, just type in guard, let image URL equals URL string URL, else return. So what this line does, it converts the URL string to a URL object. If the image URL is nil, it just returns early to signify that the URL is invalid. And type URL session dot shared dot data task image URL data response error in. So that's an actual closure or callback. So what we will do now is check for errors and valid image data. So to do that, just type in guard let data equals data. So it just checks to make sure that it's not nil. Let load image equals UI image data, and that just checks to make sure an image exists. Else, if it doesn't exist, then just return. Next, type in dispatch queue main async self.cache dot set image load image for key URL self.image equals load image. What this line does between lines 30 and 34, it updates the image cache with the specified image that needs to be loaded. And then we just type in on line 35 to type in .resume. It's important to type in .resume because if you do not type in .resume, the closure or the callback will not return the actual value. It will not be executed. So the next thing we do now, you just compile it just to make sure everything is correct. And the next thing to do now is to create the async image view. So to do that, just create your views as you normally create it. You can either hold down Control key and then left click on the mouse, click on New File, and then select SwiftUI, click on Next, give the file a name, async image, and then click on Create. Or you could have done the same thing, clicking on File, and then New, and then File, and then select your SwiftUI file, and then click on Next, and follow the end processes. So the purpose of the async image struct is to display an image asynchronously and handle the loading state. So that's what we'll do now. So the first thing we need to do, we don't need the previews, so we can just delete the previews. And then after line 10, just enter @state object private var image loader equals image loader. Let URL string, let title string, and then within the body, delete line 17, and then type in hstack let's type in if let image is equal to image loader dot image open bracket UI image that displays the image from the cache dot resizable dot aspect ratio content mode dot fit dot frame width 100 and height 100. That's the size of the image. Dot corner radius 8. That just creates curvy sides. Text title, that displays the title of the image. Dot font dot headline dot padding top and 8. Else progress, that displays a progress view, should be progress view. So if the image hasn't been loaded as yet and it cannot be displayed, it will display the progress view instead. Dot on a pair image loader, load image from URL. Let's now compile it to see if it works, or to see if it compiles anyway. Yes, it compiles, which is good. Next week, we'll be displaying the actual list and the search bar to enable filtering of the images and the image title. So in this tutorial, we'll be focusing on the content view and the search bar. For the content view, which is this contains a list of items such as the images and the name of the item. And the search bar allows the user to filter. So if you type in I, then it filters on every item that contains or starts with the letter I, such as iPhone or Samsung, Universe. So that is what we're doing today. And this enables the caching as well. So to continue from the previous tutorial, just open up your image cache example, SwiftUI example that we've done. So within NSCache, create a new SwiftUI file. Name the new file search bar. And then next, we can delete the previews as we're not using them. And then on line 11, or after line 10, create a bindable object, variable so just type in at binding, var search text string, and then next type in between lines 14 and 15, type the following, so we can delete the text field. So just type in text field, open bracket, product search text search text dot padding vertical 10 dot padding horizontal 20 dot background color dot gray, opacity 0.2, dot corner radius 8, dot overlay HStack image system name magnifying glass dot foreground color dot gray dot padding leading 8, spacing spacer So what this does, it just creates the magnifying glass within the search box. Let's type in if not search text empty is empty, button action search text. So if the search text contains a value, when the user clicks on the button, just clear the information from the search text variable. And then now the next thing we need to do, apply one of those brackets, then type in image, system name, X mark, circle dot fill, dot foreground color, dot gray, dot padding, trailing 8. And then the next thing we can do is just give it some padding, dot padding, dot horizontal, oh yes, this must be this one, dot padding, dot horizontal, so now let's just compile it just to make sure it's correct. It compiles, so that's good. So the next thing we need to do is go into the content view. And then within the content view, what we'll do is after line 10, create a variable, a state variable called getNextRecord from cache. At state private var get next records from the cache. Equals 10. And then create another state variable property, which is an instance of the products class. So just type in at state private var products product is equal to product. So this just creates an array of products. And then the next thing we do is to create an instance of the API class. It's at state private var API equals API. And then we create our final state variable, which is called search text at state private var search text string. And now the next thing we do is within the VStack on line 18, delete everything between line 18 and line 21. And then within the VStack, type the following: text products dot font dot system size 24 weight dot bold design default. What that line does is just styles the text box with the word product. And then the next thing we need to do is add the search bar. So just type in search bar, open bracket, search text, $, search text. Dot, text field, style, round, rounded border, text field style. That just styles the text box. Dot padding, horizontal. Yeah, so what we can do now, we can just run it, and when we run it, we should see the search bar at the top of the screen. No, that's not it. So let's just run it again. Yeah, that's the search bar, but it's not at the top of the screen, it's within the middle of the screen, because we need to add the list. As soon as we add the list is like a table or table view. When we do that, the search bar will be at the top of the screen, it will be somewhere here, and the list will be underneath it. So let's now create the list that will include the items. So after line 23, just type in list, products, indices, dot filter, indexing, list products, indices, dot filter. Yeah, that seems right. Let's type in let product equals products index. So it gets each product from the products array and places it into the product variable. If search text is empty, return true. So what this does, if search text is empty, so the user hasn't entered any words within the search bar, then the table, the list, will just be populated with all of the records. So the list won't be filtered on anything. Else return product title localize case sensitive contains. That should be title and let's go back into the product class. There's a title attribute there, but it's not coming up at the moment. Localized see, just delete that. Or maybe it's just X codes, so I'll just continue to type product.title.localize case insensitive contains localize localized case insensitive contains, which is this one here, the first one at the top. And then just type in search text. And then the next thing we need to do is, let me just bring this up a bit. On line 33, just type in ID .self bracket index in if index is less than get, if index is less than get net records from cache, let product equals products open bracket index. Async image URL product thumbnail title product title So what that does, it displays a sync image using the thumbnail and the URL and the title. Dot on a pair if index is equal to get next record from cache -1. So what that means, if it's near the last or the 9th record near the bottom, that means we can get the next 10 rows of records. and get net records from cache with 10. And now the next thing we need to do is on line 46, type in on a pair, perform task do and then type in let product response product response try await API fetch products products equals product response products catch and then just print the error if there's any errors. Oh, we need to get rid of this bracket on line 51. And also on line 55 we need to include a closing bracket, one of these ones. And what else do we need? Yeah, we don't need a preview. And then we have to add another closing bracket, it seems like. So what this does on line 47, because we're doing asynchronous programming, we're making a network request. That means we have to use task, and then we have to use try await, so that the actual processing is done on the background and not on the UI. Let's now run the application and see if it works or not. So when we run it, we should see a list of products. Oh, it's not working. Must have forgotten something. We're still looking for the issue. Check the API class. HTTPS It must be to do with this URL. So I'll type it in again. HTTPS dummy json.com/products. Let's see if that works now. And now it's working. So it was a URL, incorrect URL. So the correct URL should be this one. So as you can see, the images, they're retrieved from the cache. And as we scroll down, it gets the next set of 10 images. And then you can filter or perform searches. So if you're looking for perfume or oil, just type in oil. And it locates all the products that contains the word oil or perfume. It locates all the products that contains the word per. In this tutorial, we implemented image caching in SwiftUI using the image cache class, a sync image view, and image loader class. It efficiently loads and caches remote images, improving performance and user experience. The image cache class stores and retrieves images using unique keys, allowing for quick access and reuse. The async image view displays images asynchronously, retrieving them from the cache. Thank you for joining us. If you found this tutorial helpful, please comment, like and subscribe. See you next week.